Hey, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about the MSI DP130 desktop. It's sort of like an office computer, and we're going to see in terms of value proposition, how well is it, and just in general, should you buy it or should you not. So with that, let's jump right into today's video. Let's go. Starting off with the cost of the desktop is 1,175 Singapore dollars on Lazada. Now for specifications, we have a 350 watt 80 plus bronze power supply, though it's not of a normal ATX form factor. MSI H610M G DDR4 motherboard, Western Digital SN450 512GB NVMe SSD, 8GB of 3200MHz Samsung RAM, i5-12400F, and an MSI GT1030 2GB. For the Wi-Fi card, it has a Wi-Fi 6E based Wi-Fi card. As you can see here, most of the stuff is actually based off the shelf items where you can buy readily outside, except for the PC case. So is it worth your money? Let's compare the entire system if let's say I were to build a complete system based on my own budget and assembling it myself. A similar chassis made by Silverstone is around $100. A 500 watt PS2, which is an upgrade because I can't find a 350 watt ATX based power supply, that costs $58.98, and the same motherboard for around $179, 8GB of RAM DDR4 3200MHz for $31, MSI GT1030 low profile for $161, a 512GB M2 NVMe SSD is about $65.90, an i5-12400F is around $233, and a genuine Windows 11 license key is $154, bringing the grand total to about $982.87 for just parts alone. So let's add in $100 for building fees and delivery fees, and you get about $1,887, which when you compare to the actual cost of this system, $1,175 is actually not too bad, considering that the entire warranty of the system is handled by one vendor compared to the individual components such as Intel, FSP, and MSI. For I/O wise, starting at the back of the system where the I/O is the same as the traditional motherboard they buy outside, the top 3 display connectors cannot be used as your CPU is the F series type, so it doesn't have an iGPU. There's 2 USB 2.0 ports at the top with a PS2 port, and below that is one USB 3.0 port and another set of USB 2.0 ports with an Ethernet jack. Lastly, right at the bottom will be your audio jacks. For the GPU connections, you have a large choice of options, either VGA, DP, or HDMI. Now at the front of the casing, next to the power button, you have your headphone and microphone jack with 2 USB 2.0 ports and 2 USB 3.0 ports. The things that you do get at this system when you buy it brand new is power cord, SATA cables, hard drive mounting slides, desktop feeds, and your menus. Upgradability wise, to open up the entire system first, there are 3 screws at the back of the desktop. You first need to lay the desktop kind of on the flat side where there's no vents so that you can remove the top cover. After unscrewing the 3 screws, you can slide off the entire top cover like an old IBM style desktop. Now inside the desktop, everything can be upgraded, though you're limited by your chassis in terms of its width as it's quite a thin chassis, and lastly you're limited to 350 watts unless you can find a bigger same size power supply. Adding in the 3.5 inch hard drive or 2.5 inch with an adapter is quite easy with this system. The entire process is toolless, and all you need to do is use the 2 slats and attach them onto the side of your hard drive. Then just slowly slide it into the cage, and the last step will be to install the SATA cables by routing it around the hard drive cage. Now, using this desktop, well, it's definitely not gonna blow you away in any games, as it's just made to surf the web, do Excel sheets, and maybe very light video editing, though it's not really recommended. And gaming wise, you can probably play simple games like Minecraft, but don't expect to play any AAA games as you're gaming on a GT 1030. So, if you want to know how big this system actually is, in terms of its width, dimensions, and height, in terms of mm, it's 97 by 430.2 by 340. Now, the positive points I like about this system. I like that there's a whole bunch of USB ports at the front of the desktop, as you gotta think as an office environment, you probably need to plug in your phone, maybe your thumb drive, and some other devices. The form factor is small with a very minimal footprint, so you don't need to take up so much space, especially if you're doing hot desking. The pricing also is generally quite alright compared to when you're factoring every single component's cost. The things that I feel can be improved would be an addition of an intake fan at the front of the case to help a bit with ventilation and thermals. There is a slot for you to mount the fan there, and the motherboard has a header for it, but it wasn't included. Maybe a better casing that allows you to use an ATX or FSX power supply would be better, with an accommodation for larger GPUs, so that in terms of upgradability there is an option to go further down the line compared to maintaining a low profile for everything. But I do get it, this is an office computer. The DP130 is quite a good desktop in terms of its price also, because when you factor in the cost of parts plus the Windows legitimate license, it's actually quite close to the asking price already on the Lazada website. And not to account that this thing also comes with a 3-year warranty, so if anything happens to the system, you just bring it back to the distributor and they can solve it for you, compared to doing it all by yourself. And in terms of its looks, I think it looks pretty alright also. So with that, we have come to the end of the video. If you like it, leave a like, subscribe, share, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.